Today on the Happy House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff, I'm with my friend Chris Montana, and he is teaching me how to make bread. And then, it's all about sparkle and shine, which I love. We are at Wedding Day Diamonds, learning all about lab-created diamonds. And finally, the girls and I are learning how to hula. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Happy. I learned early on things are much easier with a little help. I also have a few tricks of my own to share. It's go time, people. Welcome to the Happy House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff. I am with my friend Chris Montana. We have toured your family business, and I discovered you are a baker. I am not a baker. And one of your favorite things to make is bread.
Absolutely, and hopefully by the end of this, you and anyone else should not be freaked out about making bread. And even the whole warm water, we've got a recipe here, it says 110 degrees, and most people can't just divine that, but warm water will get you there.
Okay.
Right?
Are you the baker in your house?
Usually I'm the baker in the house. I think that if you want a quality product, then typically I am the baker in the house. Although my wife also bakes, but she breaks all the rules, and I can't stand to even watch it.
We've got our ingredients out here for this bread recipe. The first thing it tells me to do is mix warm water, yeast, let me see here, and honey. So I am going to pour, this water actually is 112 degrees. It's supposed to be 110.
We're gonna get away with that.
Okay, all right. So
By the time it touches that metal bowl, it'll probably be 109.
Really?
Yeah, because some of that heat's gonna get sucked out.
All right, so then I'm gonna put in my yeast and this honey.
One of the nice things about honey is that not all sugars ferment out entirely, and sometimes they leave things behind. Honey completely ferments out, but what it does leave behind is a little bit of nice flavor, as opposed to white sugar, which can be a little tinny. Brown sugar obviously has molasses to it, and you have to be okay with that. This gets you a pretty clean ferment, but with a little taste of honey left. Now, one thing I'd recommend is we could probably incorporate some of that honey into that water before we add this in.
All right, so let's do...
We can give it a quick little stir, just make sure that honey actually gets mixed up in there. Once we put the flour in, we don't want things to start clumping and whatnot. And you gotta mix that first before you start putting something dry in there.
Okay, that is a good rule of thumb. I'm going to put...
Just go all in.
Now I'm doing it. No, no, we did mix it. We mixed it. All right, so I'm putting this in here. Okay.
So at this point, it won't look much like the dough that we want to end up with. And really all that we're doing at this point is just mixing it enough so that way it's incorporated, and then we're gonna leave it be. Yeah, you could probably call it good right there.
All right.
And you have some beautiful goop.
A beautiful goop.
It will kind of puff up, get bubbly, get kind of gooey and funky looking, which is what we want, right? So it's gonna take a little while to do that.
Chris, we have let this set for probably about 30 minutes, and it is sizably bigger than it was before. I kind of want to stick my finger in it.
You can, and if you do, all the gas is going to come out because we haven't created really much of any gluten yet. So there's nothing to hold it in.
Okay, really right now?
Yeah, it might go down on its own.
Oh, it's so sticky.
You might have to do it again. You gotta do it like you mean it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to bring this.
And it looks kind of funky. It's got, those big gas chambers in it. And as you're breaking it apart, they'll just flop. So now we're gonna be adding in the whole wheat flour. Everything before was just a high protein flour, right? Which is what
the bread flour, and then now we're adding the whole wheat flour.
Which is also a high protein flour.
Okay.
We've also got some melted butter.
Butter.
And some honey and the salt. The honey that we put in before is probably gone. And so if you were to taste it, you wouldn't taste much honey at all. The honey that we're putting in now is the honey that you're gonna taste in the bread when it's baked.
Is the flavor, okay, perfect.
And the salt is gonna help our gluten strands form.
How do you know all this?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Again, this is what's interesting to me.
Okay, we're gonna mix this, then I think we're gonna let this rise again.
Well, no, now we're going to, we're gonna flour a flat surface and we're gonna start kneading. So we don't want to go too far in there because then we'd miss all the fun, right?
All right.
Generally speaking, it's okay to, it's better to err on the side of being wet than on the side of being dry. Now that depends on the kind of bread you're making.
Okay.
But this is pretty gooey, pretty sticky. and that's okay. So now we actually have to create the webs of gluten that are going to hold this gas in, so that way it's bread and not just gooey gunk.
Okay.
So we're going to put that onto the table, and we'll just throw a little bit of flour down.
Okay.
We're going to take that out. We're going to drop it on here. What we're going to do is we're going to fold it on top of itself, then pat it down, turn it a quarter turn,
Okay.
fold it again. And what you're going to be doing by doing that is you're going to stretch out the strands one way, and then you're going to stretch out another set of strands the other way, a quarter turn, and then another one, and another one, and another one. Do you just want to go in there on that?
Okay,
I think that seems right to me.
Okay. I feel like I'm not that good at this.
Well, there's an argument that you're not, but that's okay. So what we're doing is we're flattening it out, folding it on top of each other, our little quarter turn. So we need to get it up, turn it a quarter to the side. We can get a little more flour going. And now, same fold. Let's get it all squished down.
So Chris, as far as anyone knows, I actually did all of this kneading. You were not part of this at all.
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. I was
All
just watching and coaching.
I know,
Right?
I know. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for all your help.
Anytime.
Now what's next?
So what we want to do is we want to get this into a nice little ball. Put a little bit of spray on, cooking spray on, so it's a little greased up. Right? We can throw this in here, and then we can just kind of roll it around. We need to let that rise one more time. And you can take, say, a wet rag, or a dish towel or something, or just saran wrap. Saran wrap's perfectly fine. What we don't want to have happen is we don't want it to dry out too much.
So Chris, we let our dough rise really big in the bowl, like doubled in size actually.
Indeed.
And then we punch it down.
So now we're going to divide this up because we've got a little more dough than we actually need. And so you can do this with anything. I'm going to use this knife. And again, you can use the back of the knife. You don't have to use the front end of it, but I'm just using the front end just for ease right now. So we've got it in two pieces now. Now we need to form it. Kind of like we did before, we're going to spread this out a little bit. And it's okay if we're losing a little bit of that, a little bit of the gas that's in there. So take the end that is closest to you, and you're going to roll away, right? So take it and just fold it over itself, get it nice and tight. Eventually you're going to get this little sausage. So what we need to do is we need to take these ends and we're going to tuck them underneath, right? So just take your end, tuck that down, right? We're going to push that down a little bit. We're going to take this end, we're going to tuck that down, push that down a little bit, push it into itself. If you roll it over, right, this is where we're going to have our seams, and you want to have that one seam right in the middle. Maybe you have greased this pan, maybe you floured it, and then we're just going to go right in. So we're going to form it right in there. Now it's going to sit in here, and we're going to let it rise again. Right?
Look at that.
So look at that. It's almost starting to look like bread would be, right? And again, if you get a little flour on you, like I just added some to your arm, that means that you're doing it right. If you get out of this clean, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
You're going to let this rise again until it's about 1.5 inches over the top, and you're going to bake it.
Meaning it will like literally puff up again a third time?
It's going to come up again, right? And it'll be about here, right? And that's good. And then we're going to pop that into the oven. My guess is that it's 350.
Yep. For about 35 minutes, I think it told me. How do I know my bread's done though? Like, is there a poke test? Is there what? So
one of the reasons why we want to make sure that this is a greased pan or a floured pan is that you can take the loaf out, flip it over, it'll easily come out of that bread pan and tap the bottom. If it sounds hollow, you're in business.
Got it.
If it sounds dense, you still got a little way to go.
All right, perfect. Chris, thank you so much for all your help. I think I am ready to go on my own bread adventure now.
I think so. I'm excited to try this.
Chris did a great job teaching me how to bake bread. I went home and tried it on my own, and while it did turn out delicious, clearly I did not do exactly as I was supposed to do. I'm certain all of you are better at baking bread than I am. I want to see what you made recently. Visit the Happi House on Facebook and Instagram. Coming up next on the Happi House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff, it's all about sparkle and shine. We're at Wedding Day Diamonds, learning about lab-created diamonds. Ladies, you won't want to miss this. It's all about diamonds today. I'm here today at Wedding Day Diamonds with Candace Barker, a general manager, and we are going to talk about something that I have just found out about, which is lab-created diamonds. versus earth mine diamonds, right?
Correct.
But everything's very sparkly in front of me. And I just want to ask you a little bit about the benefits about buying a lab created diamond versus an earth mine diamond.
Well, we do have both our Eco4 diamonds and our Earth Mine diamonds available at wedding day. We like to give everybody choices. So a lot of choices in rings, over 3,000 choices of rings, and then we give you the choices in diamonds as well. The Eco diamonds are conflict free, they're environmentally friendly, and they're also a little bit less expensive than the traditional Earth Mine diamonds.
So when you say environmentally friendly, that's interesting to me. What exactly does that mean?
They leave a lot less of a carbon imprint on the earth versus the mine diamonds. You know, mining does leave an imprint because they are made in a laboratory. Very minimal amount of electricity and energy is used to make them.
Okay. What exactly is the process, or can you explain to me just a little bit about the process of a lab-created diamond?
They are made by a process called CVD, which is chemical vapor deposition.
Okay.
A seed crystal is placed into a chamber, and both hydrogen and methane gases are inserted into this chamber, and then carbon begins to rain down onto the seed crystal, and a diamond's formed about 8 to 12 weeks later.
That is incredible. So what, as far as quality, what are the differences in quality and sparkle and shine, to use non-technical terms? I mean, everybody wants to be sparkly. I'm pretty sparkly right now. So what are the differences?
They are identical. A diamond is a diamond, and we like to use the analogy of a rose. So a rose that's grown in a greenhouse is the exact rose you would find in a garden or anywhere else. And the same thing is true for our lab-grown diamonds. Is a diamond is a diamond. Chemically, optically, physically, the only difference is going to be the origin of where the diamond comes from.
Okay, so are these diamonds just available for like wedding settings, or are they available for anything? I mean, what do I look for and what can I get?
So about 2 years ago, we introduced the Eco4 diamonds, mainly as round diamonds, center stones for engagement rings. More recently, we've been able to have them in different shapes. So we have the fancy shapes, the emerald cuts, cushion cuts, oval shaped diamonds for your
These
center
right here,
stones. So
that would be like,
these. And then over the holiday season, we had a lot of our clients asking for the fashion jewelry. So the earrings, the pendants, the bracelets, and we introduced the fashion line over the holidays.
All right. What are we looking at as far as a price difference, or what can I expect? And maybe, what can I buy, like the 1 carat, that's a thing, right? The 1 carat diamond. So like, what am I looking at in general with a earth diamond versus a lab diamond?
Okay. So the lab created diamonds will be up to about 40% less, or can be up to 40% less than the traditional earth mined. So these two diamonds we have here, one is an earth mine and one is a lab grown. The lab grown diamond that we have is $5,000, and the earth mine is $7,500. So it's a $2,500 difference for very similar diamonds and similar quality and similar size.
And so when we talk about quality, I know that there's color, clarity. So are lab created diamonds all like perfect clarity because they can be, or no?
No.
Okay.
No. So they still will have inclusions in them. They come in different clarity, different color grades. All of them come with certificates that are graded by outside laboratories that certify the diamonds. And they're all cut and faceted by the same diamond cutters that cut and facet earth mine diamonds.
Okay. Are you gonna do like the, I'm just gonna say this, the Coke versus Pepsi test with me right now to see if I can if I can tell the difference? These are both very beautiful. I actually honestly can't tell the difference.
Most people can't.
They're both very beautiful. The only difference I can see is this diamond feels more square to me and this one feels more round. I'm not sure why. Okay, they're really beautiful, but I'm gonna go that this is the earth diamond.
So that is actually the lab grown.
Okay. I actually thought it was the earth one, for real. This is the lab grown, and then this is the earth one.
So, and actually all the Eco4 diamonds are type 2A.
What's that
So
mean?
those are the most pure diamonds available. They do come in earth mine, but every single Eco4 diamond will be type 2A. So they do tend to be a little bit more sparkly, brilliant. Definitely people are drawn to those diamonds.
Well, I think it's a great option. Everything here is incredibly beautiful, and I am wearing a lot of lab created diamonds myself right now. It was kind of fun for me. It's like dress up, except for I'm 44, not 3, so that's perfect. All right, thank you so much, Candace. Anything you want to say as a pearl of wisdom or something to tell people when they're shopping for something special for someone?
Well, we always say to buy with your eye. You know, you're going to have people tell you what to buy, what's better. But when you're choosing a diamond, choose what's most beautiful to you, choose what you want to wear and are proud to wear.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for talking with us
Thanks
today.
for coming.
Coming up next on the Happi House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff, the girls and I are taking a hula lesson.
Aloha, Happi!
I'm here with Kalei today, and she has a very interesting weekend job. You're actually from Hawaii, right, Kalei?
Born and raised, yes.
Born and raised in Hawaii. How long? And why did you decide to come to Minnesota?
To dance the hula, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting. So you taught the girls and I earlier that the name for teacher in Hawaii is kumu. So you are the kumu. Well, I was gonna say kumu instructor, but you're the hula instructor, which is a kumu.
Kumu, yes.
So we're actually in kind of an interesting place, a place I would not suspect would host hula lessons. Can you tell me a little bit about how this got started?
I work at Cast Screw Machine Products, and they are so wonderful to let me use this space to teach the hula and share the aloha.
And who takes hula lessons? Little people, big people, like?
My youngest is 6, and I think my oldest just turned 72.
Oh, okay. So anybody can hula?
Absolutely.
This is what you've told me. I am
Absolutely.
probably one of the most uncoordinated people ever. So but what I do have here is some very coordinated little girls, and they would love to at least get started a little bit, right, ladies? We've got Ava and Ruthie and Emerson, and they are here to learn a few basic hula steps. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you
Great.
ready?
Yes, I will do the pa'i, and I'm going to have my kokua, or my assistant, Mikalalani. She's going to help show the girls the steps and motions, okay? Because what they usually do is they actually face the girls. So we're going to put you in one line. Okay, are you going to try and dance too, Happy?
I don't know. Yeah.
Why not, right?
Okay, why not? Yeah.
Why not? All right. Okay, so the first basic hula step we're going to do is called a kaholo. Ka means the, holo means to go. So this is the step where you go. Okay?
Go. Okay.
All right. Hands on your hips, just like she shows you, okay? And you want to bend your knees. And then you're going to take 2 steps to the right and 2 steps to the left. Just follow her. Ready? Pa. Bend your knees. That's how your hips move. Your hips will automatically move if you bend your knees. Okay, step together, step back, step together, step back. There you go. That's your first basic hula step, kaholo. Okay, let's add some hands to that. We're going to add hula hands. You want to space out a little bit. You're going to put your left hand at your chest and your right hand out to the right. And you're going to make nice little hula hands with a nice wave. And then switch. You're going to just move at the elbow. Move at the elbow to switch. There you go. And again, the other side. Good. Now we're going to put that motion with your kaholo step, okay? Ready? Pa, and step. And step.
I think this is where all is breaking down for me.
What's the name of this step? Kaholo. All right, there you go, kaholo. Very good, girls. All right, the other step I'm going to teach you is called the hela. Hands are at your chest. Both hands are up. Bend your knees. Oh, bend your knees. Not at the waist though. Okay, just come straight down so that you're not bending over. There we go. Perfect. Now you're going to extend your right foot. Bring it back. Shift your weight to extend your left foot. There you go. And you're going to go back and forth. Hela right, back in, hela left. While you're doing this, you have to keep your level down so that you're not bouncing up. See how Mikalalani is not moving up? She's just staying the same level. If your thighs aren't burning, you're not doing it right. So let's try the hella.
Feel the burn.
Are you ready? Here we go. Hella and out, out, right, left, and right, left, right, left. Right step, left step. Good. There you go. So now you have 2 steps. So what we do in class is we go back and forth. Kaholo and hela. That's 2 of the minor steps.
Thank you so much for showing us this. Girls, are you ready to do some more hula? All right.
Kaholo. Hold those arms up. We don't want any noodle arms, right? And hela. And kaholo. Come on, let's go. And hela. Kind of like Simon says. All right. Mai kai, that means very good.
So-
Actually bakes, it'll
Wait.
pop out and it'll crack.
Well, let's talk about this. So I'm just going to show everybody that your seam is on the bottom. Someone else's seam, we won't mention any names, is actually on the side.